Joining me on the program today is my special guest, Diana Diaz. She is the wife of Border Patrol Agent Jesus Chito Diaz Jr., and we're here to talk about the sentencing hearing and what took place yesterday. This would be October 20, 2011, when this took place in Del Rio, Texas. And Diana, welcome back.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you for having me.
So what can you tell us what took place yesterday?
Well, yesterday was sentencing, and it went fairly good compared to what we thought he might be facing. Or he was facing, but what he could get.
Right. Go ahead.
He was facing 10 to 35 years, and he got 24 months. Which is not the greatest, but it's a lot better than years. He's already done 8 months as of Monday, so it's pretty much another 8 months. If we've held off for this long, I think we can hold off a little bit longer, waiting for him to come home. He's in good spirits. I talked to him today again, and he's anxious because now he knows he has a day to come home. Before he was anxious because he didn't know. Now he's anxious because he knows. Either way, he's anxious. He wants to come home.
And that's got to be a big help because, yes, we were talking at 10 years, and given the mandatory minimum of the 10 years on this for the civil rights aspect, I mean, and which is entirely just absurd that they would continue to use that. But this, of course, is a pattern that goes back, as I've documented, to the Clinton administration, and as you and I have discussed, the canine officer Stephanie Moore, who did 10 years for a dog bite as a canine officer on an illegal alien, and that was something that was triggered by Mexico. So, and there are similarities in the cases there, but they talked about the Gary Brugman case, and Gary is a former agent who was also prosecuted for doing his job. And could you talk a little bit about some of what took place inside of the courtroom?
Yes, it was pretty interesting to see that it boiled down to the arguments were based on the Gary Brugman case. And it's sad to see that they use agent against agent, because now they have two agents for the next agent that they want to go after. They'll have the U.S. versus Brugman, and now they have the U.S. versus Jesus Diaz. And with Brugman, it was the same thing. He used excessive force. With my husband, well, he used excessive force with handcuffs. So only God knows what they'll come up with next for the next law enforcement officer that they go after.
Right, and that's at the crux of this whole thing. I see this, as do others, as yet just another message case, with clearly Mexico being the instigator here. But of course, I mean, this is nothing new. We saw this with the Stephanie Moore case. We saw this with David Sipe. We've seen this with Gary Brugman, Ramos and Compian. We've seen this with Gilmer Hernandez and Nicholas Corbett. We've seen so many of these types of cases. We thought we would have been done with this type of nonsense after the Bush administration. Have you had a chance to talk about this with the kids yet?
I told my kids that, especially the boys, because they haven't seen them. The girls have seen them, but the boys haven't seen them. I told them that hopefully, God willing, their dad would be home by next summer. So they were really excited. Today in the morning they woke up and they told me, "Mom, is it summer? Is my dad home?" I was like, "Well, no, it's not summer, but you know what? It's a day closer." And at least now they have some sort of an idea when he's going to come home. Before, I didn't have an answer. I didn't know what to tell him. And that was harder. At least now, it's the summer. When in the summer, I don't know exactly when, but by the time you guys get out of school, you'll be able to spend the summer with your dad.
Right, and all the birthdays too, and that's got to be something everybody's looking forward to, considering that just so many things that have been missed.
Yes, this past year, 2011, he will have missed all 6 birthdays of all his kids, and hopefully, God willing, he gets out by April. He will be able to spend all the birthdays with them, except for my 7-month-old, because she was born in March. So he'll miss her first birthday, but that's okay as long as he comes home.
And all of this for just lifting cuffs. Anybody can turn on the TV and look at a reality show such as Cops or the countless others, or the jail show, which they often show Las Vegas, and you can see law enforcement officers lifting cuffs. So that just has to be extremely scary, knowing that this case could have gotten 10 years, but even if it didn't, it's still on the books. The conviction is on the books, which is why, though he faces at this point such little time remaining, the fact that there is any time just has to be so outrageous for you as a wife, knowing, my God, this is, are you kidding me? I'm sure that's the thought that's evoked. How can they possibly come up with this?
Yes, every day you watch, like you said, those reality shows, you see it there, and you think to yourself, wow, really? How many times during this whole show did I see somebody pull handcuffs and nothing happened to them? Not that I wanted to, because, they're law enforcement officers, that's their job, but my husband is sitting in a prison. He's the example of you can't pull handcuffs because you'll go to prison. And a lot of people, they're like, oh, well, he's in jail. No, it's a prison. It is a prison, and we have to call it what it is. And it's mind-boggling how they took it to this extreme. He did nothing wrong, nothing that any police officer, any correctional officer doesn't do. I mean, the mere fact that you put handcuffs on somebody, that's what they're for. They're supposed to be hurtful. They hurt when you put them on. They're not soft and, made out of cotton. They hurt.
Right. We're talking hard steel that when they clasp it on your wrist, you're going to feel it on the bones in your wrist, and that's the whole purpose, because you have done something that you are alleged to have broken the law. If you're a potential felon, that's just part of the process, and something that has now been weakened for law enforcement. And for what? That's just what's so baffling. But it gets to the issue, once again, the heart of this. Mexico is at the center of this. The Department of Justice has continued a pattern of what's clear to be abuse and misconduct, and sitting silently throughout all this, with the exception of infernal affairs, is the Department of Homeland Security. It takes me back to 2007 and the David Aguilar musters that I've been reporting on for LNN, and you just got to wonder. I know you can't comment on this, given what the agency is known for doing to our people, but it's just that thought where are they going to try to pull this again and justify this? And again, you don't have to comment on this. It's shameful that this is being allowed to take place. You have a reporting policy that was violated, agents who perjured themselves that were the star witnesses, a doper who perjured himself, and ultimately was promised immunity, or in the words of the transcripts, which you can comment on, he was promised that he was not going to be given to the mouth of the lion. Now, that just had to outrage you.
Yes, because they weren't going to give a dope dealer to the mouth of the lion, yet they gave a federal agent, a Border Patrol agent, to the mouth of the lion. So my husband's life was worth less than a doper.
Now, as we look forward, the appeal is the next process, and for our viewers or listeners at home, depending on which way they're doing this, the way the appeal works is it now goes to the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals in New Orleans, Louisiana, and it will go before a panel of 3 judges who, through the initial stage, there will be paper going back and forth between the government, or Department of Justice in this case, as well as the defense counsels, and it is through this process we hope to clear Chito's name.
Yes, the appeal has started. Yesterday the attorneys filed the motion for appeal. It's going to take some time, and he will probably do the remaining part of his sentence before the appeal happens, but at least the process has started, and it's a little bit of peace of mind to know that it's there. and hopefully this thing can get turned around, not just for my family, but for every law enforcement officer out there.
And what's difficult is you have a time period that you don't know how long the appeal process could take. In the Ramos Compian case, their trial was in March of 2006, and their appeal wasn't heard oral arguments wise until December of 2007. So you could have a year and a half, you could have 2 years, you could have 3 years. That part's not known, but at least he won't be in the limbo, so to speak, because he'll already be out because the sentencing would have ended. Now, with that said, you know, you've got the appeal process. Nothing's guaranteed, but there are a couple of things that the people at home should know about the appeal process. Anything not introduced during the during the trial process at the district court level cannot be brought in to bear during the appeal process. And knowing that there are so many issues that remain in this case, it really must leave you with some concerns, considering there were some issues that I'm sure you and Chito felt that needed to be addressed with, but let's just say there was a lack in courage to do that on behalf of Chito, the client.
Yes, and that's the sad part. That there was a lot of things that we felt, and we're not attorneys, that should have been brought up and weren't.
And you can't really comment too much beyond that because of the obvious. You've already faced quite a few things, battles outside of the arena, so to speak. So we'll leave that there. But that said, I think it is important that this fight continues. We will stand with you. Do you have a message you would like to leave for everybody today?
Yes, I want to thank everybody who's been supporting us from day one. You, Carrie, Gary Brugman, everybody who supported us, Simon. It's been a lot easier to do it with people who have already walked down this road that I hope nobody has to walk through. But I want to thank everybody from my family, from Chito's family, from Chito himself. I'm sure once he gets out, he will address everybody. He's gotten a lot of mail. A lot of people have us in their prayers, which I am very grateful for. And just keep fighting with us, because we can't leave it where it's at. We can't just leave it alone because it's not right. And it'll happen again. And it will continue to happen.
And for people listening at home, it astounds me how this has gotten so out of control, considering you have a nation, you have the United States, which is a majority of which of people are or have a Christian background. You have Mexico, which is a Catholic nation, and yet these crimes against humanity continue to be allowed, and nobody seems to be very interested in doing something about it. Diana, you know we're going to stand by your side as well as Chito's and continue this fight. We thank you again. We offer our prayers, and we will continue this fight for you until he gets home and until his name is cleared. And of course, his isn't the only one that we're going to continue that fight for.
Well, thank you so much, Andy, and I will relay the message to him when I talk to him later on today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.